wants me to do this. Wanna bet?
Welcome back to the Tiberium Hangar. This is Mike, and today we'll talk to you about the Yolopark AMK Pro Series Starscream. I'm loving this line. Does Starscream make me love it even more? Maybe. We're going to talk about this. But it does look even more cartoony. Still has that gritty, real-world feel to it. And it does a few things just a little bit different than I've seen on the past ones. But I did get this at ShowZStore.com. I have a link down below where you can get yours. Remember, TH in the support your viewer code. It helps the channel out. But let's get into taking a look at this Starscream, the AMK Pro Series. Non-transforming. Lots of fun. Coming up. Alright, here is the packaging, and it looks pretty similar like they do in the past. I'm always surprised how big the box is. It's quite large, trying to get it all in frame here. And it does have a slip cover over it, shows the assembly process. Pull this off, and we're now into, that's different, it's 40th anniversary because it wasn't 40th when the other ones came out. But there's Starscream box, pretty similar to the other ones. Just quickly want to show you what all is coming in the box. Still trying to get all this on here. And so, yeah, so we still have to put it all together. Not really a big deal. And then there is weapons, accessories, and stuff that's in there. The stand and all that comes in the box. So you get quite a bit in there for like 65 bucks or something, 60, 65. And yeah, although it doesn't transform, it has lots of accessories, lots of cool stuff you can do with this guy. Now, I do usually show the build process on this. I just find that to be kind of a waste of time now. Everyone pretty much seems to know you're just plugging it in the order that it's in the tray. It's very, very simplistic. It's not very hard. The one thing I think is a little different about this one, though, has die cast these parts here. So it's a little bit different. There are some differences on this one versus some of the other ones. They all have their own special, unique parts to them. But nothing is really earth-shattering. When you pop your head on, you pop all that on, it's nothing really all that special in the build. But for the most part, very straightforward. And so for that, I'm just kind of showing you are building it, but I'm not going to do step by step because I think it's going to be a waste of time. Anyway, I'll be back with it when he's built. Here he is outside of the box, and I think they're getting a little bit closer to cartoon aesthetic. I did kind of want to show this where these things pop up and you've got the guns in the front. Not sure if I get them to stick back on there. They're a little challenging to get stuck on there, but looking very, very cartoon to me, and still having that real world look to it, that grittiness. So I think they've done a pretty good job with this one. Well, they've done a good job with all of them, but yeah, this one looks really good. I think they're going in maybe even a more cartoon direction. And I'm curious to see what they do with the rest of them. Like, who's next and what all else are they going to make in this line? And I'm pretty sure it's wildly popular. So I would like to see more from it. But let's go ahead and pop these off here and get a kind of a good look at this dude. And there's his face. Very, very Starscreamy. Now, I still don't have the right size batteries for these, so I'm not using that effect. I actually ordered some and they weren't the right size. So anyhow, the look of this, the paint is amazing. It's painted all over, and they always are, and it just looks fantastic. Looks phenomenal. And then I didn't really show it on the build because I didn't really do the build, but there's just so much detail that goes into the legs. It's like the front piece, the back piece, the side piece, this piece here, the foot, the blue piece there. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on. It's all very intuitive, really nothing challenging at all for the assembly process of this guy, and looks pretty good. Now, I do like mine clean. One thing about the assembly, I will say, is you get to pick from like more of like a battle damaged and a non-battle damaged one. There's very little difference between these two. So I picked, of course, the cleaner I can get it to look, the more I like it. And yeah, it's really pretty awesome overall. So I guess we'll get into articulation, which is pretty much the same on all of them, but he does have wings and other things to get into it, and then we get into some accessories, the stands, the comparisons, and all that fun stuff. All right, his head goes up. It's nice and tight, side to side. You can get a bit of a down to it, so you can talk to like Spike, Daniel, and your doom is coming. Shoulder goes up to, it's only hindered by its own self, basically. And then, of course, the 360. You could do 360 if you didn't have wings in the way. And then the bicep swivel. And you could probably bicep swivel it in a little bit more than I did to kind of narrow that gap. Or if you want, you can pull it out just a little bit. So that's kind of cool at this. One thing about this is you have those joints and all that. That is kind of cool. This is articulated too because it's just pegged in, so you can have it however you want. Double jointed, and you do see the hardware in there for that double joint. Really nice. And then there's his hand with the typewriter fingers thing going on. But you've got the three by itself, and then the 2 points of articulation on those, and then this thumb right here. Which I'm not really against this at all because I really am not going to do a whole lot of hand poses. And the splaying can make an issue with your hand, but I'm like, you can make a nice fist and you can do what he needs to do. So it works for me. You do have the ball joint here. So he gets a little bit of range down to that level of, and he has an engineered in ab crunch in addition to the ball joint. So, I mean, all that stuff you can do. Guess what? Starscream has waist swivel. It's still a bit hindered, but he can still do it. People always complain about Starscream not having waist swivel. Let's pull this flap up. Goes out to about there, not quite the 90. And then this needs to come up. Now this is different. I've never seen this before. It hinges up like that. So you can get it out of the way and you can get what you need out of that for whatever pose you want to put it in. And then you have all this movement here that you need, and then double joint. Is it a double joint or just one really? Yeah, it's double jointed. Double joint at the knee, and then you've got what you need, ankle tilt and all that stuff. All that good stuff going on for the articulation. Great articulation, great aesthetic. Just love these. I mean, they're action figures, not Transformers. Or Transformers that are action figures. Some other accessories include blast effects. You have to assemble them like this and then plug it into here like that. So you really can't put the blast effect on without the explosion going on. It's got to have some level of explosion to the blast effect, but it is what it is. And Starscream does look like he's having a good time here. Of course, he is, with his null rays both having some blast effects on there. Is a thing that you can do if you want. The other accessory we have is this stand. Typical stand, so you can put him in some sort of crazy pose. And I didn't really think about this so much, but man, it's a challenge to get that stand on him with the wings. Kind of get it in between the wings and the body. Yeah, bit of a challenge there. Probably not the greatest stand in the world. I don't really care. Not that big of a deal. And the last two things we have are extra head or face. Yeah, extra faces. See if I can get them to show up. Just kind of different expressions for his mouth. Obviously, the eyes light up, so you don't swap the eyes, and there it goes. All right, now we can see where we have come from, sort of where we are going. Now, they did make a sort of cartoon representation of Megatron, and it was like a BBTS exclusive, and it had Megatron and Prime in it for like $75, which is a pretty good deal. I missed that, so I'm not really too worried about it, though. Looking at this, I really want to see a better revised Megatron, believe it or not. I always felt like the lower legs are just a bit too exaggerated and thick, and I would like them thinner, more thin look to it. And I would prefer more of a cartoon aesthetic. But see, the other ones that they were selling for $75 don't have any die cast. This has die cast in several parts on here. I did show a couple pieces. And then it's got more weight and fully painted versus just partially painted, those kinds of things. But I would like more cartoon representation in the full paint and giving it everything in their all. But just looking at Prime's lower legs, they're a little thinner. They fit right. That fits right. Just too thick. That's kind of Make Toys made their masterpiece one. I think theirs was pretty thick in the lower legs too. So still, it's a great looking figure, but could use a different version also to be more G1 for me. Anyhow, they look really good. They fit in really well. Let's look at some 3-0. 3-0 is still smaller, and I haven't even opened up one Super 7 figure that's like an actual humanoid character. I do have a Grimlock, which doesn't really compare. But looking at this, 3-0 smaller. I believe that Super 7 Ultimates are smaller. Red is definitely smaller. We're not even going to show red, but there it is. And I just got my Magic Score Swindle from Showsy's store. There it is. And they look good next to each other. And they feel like they're cut from the same stone in a way. Very nice, very nice, very pleased. I haven't had them long enough to even put the guns on them and do anything with them yet. Just literally pulled them out of the box, and there it is, side by side. So they look like they fit. Still, he would still be smaller in the world than Starscream, not the exact same size. So what do I think about the Starscream? Actually, to tell you the truth, I was looking forward to him just have another character, but I didn't realize that they would go to the next level, making it more cartoon, but still have all of the real world accuracies to him. And I think that this is next level. I think they should have led with this level of paint G1 coloration. They really should have. I mean, I would have liked him even more. I love this line, but now I'm loving it even more because this is giving me pretty much exactly what I would want. And we were really close with the first two, and I think you're getting closer. I think they're just watching my videos and saying, okay, Mike wants some more G1, we can do that, and that's what's going on. That's really what it feels like here. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm gonna have a link where you can get this at ShowsyStore.com, and like, subscribe. I didn't bring her out.
Well, as Megatron has, how shall we say, departed, I nominate myself as the new leader.